Yo, what's going on? So this one is a special request. We're looking at Korean terminology. How do I do it? How do I learn it? Why can't I learn it? Give me some tips. So theory and terminology is one of those things that people kind of sometimes leave to the last minute, and it catches them out in testings, and we want to help you rectify that. Some general thoughts on theory and terminology, and then some looking at just even pronunciation, right? Sometimes people read them and they don't know what they are. So I'm going to break these into a section of videos: white belt, yellow tag, yellow belt, green tag, green belt, blue tag, so on and so forth. That's the plan anyway. Whether we get them all out or not is no, we will. We'll get them all out. That'll be fine. Okay, so I'm working out of the ITA's second edition syllabus manual, which is again derived out of the Encyclopedia of Taekwondo, so it's pretty accurate, pretty good. Let's talk about sort of how Korean terminology works and how it's built. So I always think of it like Lego, right? There's little components that click together to make full-blown things. So you need to know how to connect them. You need to know what they are, what they how they lock together, right? Sort of point of information. If you don't know the English, you're goosed. You need to be able to speak the whole thing out so you can break it into digestible chunks, right? So something like outer forearm low block, you need to know the whole name, not just that it's some sort of block with your hand or it's a low block, but what kind of low block, right? Outer forearm, back palmak, low, najunde, block, maki. So let's take the sort of high level words, right? And then we can sort of see how they click together, right? So taking simple ones like stance, sugi. This is all stances are abbreviated or append sugi to it. Whether it's gunan sugi, narani sugi, nacho sugi, hyochi sugi. There's a load of them. Sugi is stance. Jiruji, punch. What type of punch? That's a different thing. You need to quantify them further. Is it apjimuk jiruji? Is it an aereo jiruji? Is it sangseo jiruji? Whatever it might be, right? But the general rule of thumb, jiruji is punch. Chagi is kick. Again, it's not enough to just say kick. You need to quantify it, right? Is it dalio chagi? Is it yop chagi? Is it apchabusigi? Is it bande dalio chagi? What type of kick is it? But these are the three, and the other one then is block, is maki. So any blocking technique is maki. So again, najunde maki, kyunde maki, sonka maki, sonka debi maki, whatever it might be, right? And we'll go through some of them. So again, I'm looking kind of at the white belt syllabus first, and when you first start, there seems like an awful lot of Korean terminology, but it's because you need to know all the blocks and how they click together, right? So some of the common stances for white belt, right? The very first stance you learn in Taekwondo, attention stance. This is your bowing stance, cheyatsugi. At the start of the class, you'll often hear the top grade, cheyat. That means attention. So attention stance, cheyatsugi. Another nice one, another one you'll come across is probably one of the first stances you learn, parallel stance, narani sugi. Sometimes called parallel ready stance, narani junbi sugi. You often hear at the start of a sparring match, junbi, this is ready. So parallel, narani, junbi, ready, sugi, stance. Parallel, ready stance, narani, junbi, sugi. And you see what I mean about it being Lego now, about it clicking together. Once you know one component, you can stitch it onto the next and the next and the next, right? Other stances that are important at white belt, walking stance, gunon sugi, walking stance. Another one for white belt stance, sitting stance. Sitting stance is anonsugi sitting stance. So they're the kind of four odd stances you should really have in your head for white belt. Attention stance, sheyatsugi. Parallel stance, narani sugi. Walking stance, gunon sugi. And anonsugi, sitting stance. Thinking about blocking techniques at white belt level. So we generally have kind of taking from it's usually related to the pattern you're studying. Now, white belt, you're studying Saju, Juruji, Sajimaki. So if you learn these, if you think about the movements in there, you'll get most of your Korean terminology. So let's think about the two blocks. So in Saju, Juruji, we have a low outer forearm block. So let's break this down. We know Maki is block. We need to quantify it now, right? So it's low, so it's najunde. Najunde is low. So najunde Maki, this is low block. But what type of low blocks? There's many type of low blocks. So which one is this? This is Bakat palmuk. Bakat palmuk is the outer forearm, pinky side, outer forearm. Thumb side is an palmuk, inner forearm. When we do this, the standard low block that you sort of learn from Sajijuruji, and from Sajijuruji, not Sajimaki. Sajimaki Sunkal. This is Sajijuruji. It's low. It's outer forearm low block. Bakat palmuk, Najunde Maki. Bakat palmuk, Najunde Maki. Sometimes you hear it pronounced the other way, Najunde Bakat palmuk, Bakaro Maki, outward block. But you don't need to worry if you have the kind of the construction correct, where you have enough detail in your description. At this level, at this grade, we're not going to crucify you for being, misplacing the order. If you can understand that it's an outer forearm and it's a low block, then you should be okay, right? Bakat palmuk, Najunde Maki. In the other blocking techniques from Sajijuruji, right? It's the same from Sajimaki. Sorry, in Sajimaki we have the Sunkal. This is knife hand, Sunkal. So if we want to now think about our low block again with the knife hand, the first movement from Sajimaki, we know it's a block, so it's Maki. We know it's Sunkal, knife hand, and we know it's low as well. So we combine these and we get Sunkal Najunde Maki, Sunkal Najunde Maki, or Najunde Sunkal Maki, however you want to roll it. There's enough information in the order, and there is a specified order, but at this stage, if you can understand the construction of the technique and roll it together however you want, I would be okay as an instructor. I can deal with that, right? So this is low knife hand block, Sunkal Najunde Maki. When we look at the other block in Sajimaki, it's an palmuk, inner forearm, middle block. So now we already know block, Maki, and we know an palmuk, inner forearm. Now we just need the word for middle, which is Kaunde. So we have inner forearm, middle block, an palmuk, Kaunde Maki, an palmuk, Kaunde Maki, an palmuk, Kaunde Maki. And this is your inner forearm. Often you'll see we've done low and we've done middle. We may as well do something above the shoulder as well. For yellow belt as well, you'll need this when you see it in Dangun. But often it's taught at an early stage as well, and it's outer forearm rising block. So we already know outer forearm is Bakat palmuk, and we know block is Maki. So what's rising? And it's Chukyo, and this is an easy one to remember. You chuck something up. Chuck it up there. So Bakat palmuk, Chukyo Maki. Bakat palmuk, Chukyo Maki. This is outer forearm rising block. These are kind of some of the standard kind of blocking techniques at white belt, yellow tag that you'll need to know the terminology for. Let's think about sort of kicking techniques. Chagi is kick with this exception. So front snap kick is the first one we think of. When we think of the first kind of kicking technique we generally see is front snap kick. Apcha busigi. So ap is front. Cha is, I'm assuming, an abbreviation of chagi. And then busigi is snap. So front kick with a snap, right? Or this is how I'm assuming the literal translation works. So apcha busigi, front snap kick. And the tool we hit with front snap kick is the ball of the foot. This is ap gumshi, ball of the foot. So not only do we need to know the technique, we need to know the tool that we're hitting with, right? In the same way we describe the an palmuk or the bakat palmuk in the maki, we need to know the tool for kicking in. Hello, cat. We need to know the tool for kicking in. We need to know the tool for kicking. But we don't need to always qualify it in the name. So for apchagi or apchabusigi, we don't need to say, apchabusigi, apkumshi. It's not necessary. If it's a front snap kick, we assume the tool is the ball of the foot. What other kind of common kick that we see probably at white belt, yellow belt level is side piercing kick. Yopcha juruji, side piercing kick. Yop is side, cha is kick, and juruji is punch. I never knew where this came from, why this is side piercing kick. So somebody knows, explain to me why it's juruji. Maybe because we put the hand out with the side kick shape, but if you know, tell me, because I don't know why this is the one exception. Or this is the second exception, isn't it? Anyway, Yopcha Juruji, side piercing kick, Yopcha Juruji. Similarly for back piercing kick, Duitcha Juruji. We have Yop is side, Duit is back. So Duitcha Juruji, back piercing kick. And these are kind of some of the tools. So we've talked about the tools, we've talked about the heights, we've talked about the kicking techniques, and we've talked about the blocking techniques. The only one I want to talk about now is front punch as well. So apjumuk. Apjumuk is 4-fist. 4-fist, Apjumuk. And when we make 4-fist punch, it's Apjumuk Juruji. Apjumuk Juruji. 4-fist front punch. Apjumuk Juruji. This can be done on the obverse or the reverse side. If it's on the obverse side, it's the same. Imagine a walking stance. If the left leg is in front and the left hand is in front, this is an obverse punch because they're the same. If the left leg is in front and the right fist is in front, this is a reverse punch. Obverse is Baro, reverse is Bande. So you can have Baro Apjumuk Juruji, obverse 4-fist punch, and then reverse 4-fist punch, Bande Apjumuk Juruji, Bande Apjumuk Juruji. So these are your punching techniques. So we've kind of covered the tools that you commonly see. We've covered some of the blocking techniques. We've covered some of the kicking techniques, and we've covered some of the stances. And you can see how you can kind of clip them all together now to make a sequence of techniques. So it could be, walking stance, low outer forearm block. Gunnon Sugi, walking stance, low outer forearm block. Najunde Bakat Palmuk Maki, or Bakat Palmuk Najunde Maki. Like I said, however you want to roll it, I'm okay with it at the moment. There is rules, but whatever. So this is one example. Supposing you want to make a sitting stance 4-fist punch, Anon Sugi Apjumuk Juruji. Anon Sugi Apjumuk Juruji. If you want to make parallel stance rising block, Norani Sugi Bakat Palmuk Chukyo Maki. Norani Sugi Bakat Palmuk Chukyo Maki. And these are just some of the examples of how you can kind of stitch them together to make different techniques and the kind of common terminologies that you need at kind of white belt yellow tag. And I just want to make sure there's nothing else that I'm kind of leaving out. There's a few other ones, but I think this is a good start for terminology at sort of white belt yellow tag area, and then we'll get into sort of yellow belt green tag terminology in the next one. Okay, so again, like I said, if anyone has an answer for why sidekick is Yup Cha Juruji, chime in. I'm dying to know. Like I said, I think it's because we stick the fist out with the sidekick shape, but I don't know why it's not Yup something Chaggy, Yup piercing Chaggy, because Juruji is punch. Anyway, whatever, that's a different debate. We can get into it afterwards. So this is white belt yellow tag theory. Let me know if you found it useful, if you're finding it helpful or not, and we can kind of go through them there and then, and we'll go through the next sort of grades as yellow belt green tag kind of area next time, right? Yeah, cool. Let me know if you're liking the videos. Give them a like, give them a share. If you're enjoying the podcast, give it a subscribe. Yeah, keep your eyes peeled, and we'll be back soon. Cheers. Bye-bye.